proposing changes to the fire safety laws. Australia gets more damaging rain, and the Space Shuttle Discovery comes home for the last time. Good evening. It's time for ICRT News at 6. I'm Mike Woodward. First, Taiwan News with Eric Gao.
Good evening. Here in Taiwan, the Ministry of the Interior is working on changes to fire safety laws after this weekend's nightclub fire that claimed 9 lives. In the wake of that accident, the MOI is working on amendments to the law that will make it illegal to make open flames part of performances in indoor public spaces. The ban will not include flames incorporated into stages or other set equipment that have applied for and received permission. Under the amendments, violators would face fines of 20,000 NT to 100,000 NT. The ministry expects to have all the relevant details worked out within a month, at which time the bill will be sent to the executive yuan. In related news, Taipei City fire safety officials have completed the last wave of safety inspections following the blaze in Taichung City this weekend. According to the fire department, out of 364 pubs, nightclubs, KTVs, and other similar venues checked, 17 have failed to meet safety standards. 6 of those were lacking in firefighting equipment, such as fire hoses, automatic sprinkler systems, or warning systems. The other 11 had not properly trained their employees to deal with fire emergencies. The fire department says the establishments have all been informed of their need to improve, and the department says it will follow up to make sure that they have done so. That's Taiwan News. I'm Eric Gao. Now World News with Mike Woodward.
Thank you, Eric. Muammar Gaddafi says Libyans will fight if a no-fly zone is imposed by Western nations, saying that would show their real intention is to seize the country's oil. Gaddafi made his remarks during an interview aired today by Turkey's state-run TRT Turk television. He was responding to U.S. and British plans for a response to Libya, including imposing a no-fly zone to prevent Gaddafi's warplanes from striking rebels. Gaddafi claimed such a move would lead Libyans to understand the foreigners' aims to seize oil and take their freedoms away. He says if that happens, Libyans will take up arms and fight. A magnitude 7.2 earthquake hit northern Japan, shaking buildings in Tokyo and prompting the country's meteorological agency to issue a tsunami alert for the northeastern coast. There are no immediate reports, though, of damage or injuries, but officials are still assessing the situation. In 2 days with troops and commanders, Pentagon Chief Robert Gates heard that the Taliban are reeling, U.S. and Afghan troops are clicking, and the war is going really well. Much less clear, though, is the hope for advances in the Afghan government's ability to provide basic services and extend its authority beyond Kabul just months before the American troop drawdown begins. The Space Shuttle Discovery is making its final landing at the Kennedy Space Center today. Following its final mission, the orbiter has taken 39 trips into space during its 27-year voyage.
The crew of Discovery took a break from their landing preparations to mark the spacecraft's final mission with a brief ceremony. The shuttle is set to land at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida Wednesday, just before noon local time. Discovery is the first of the 3 remaining shuttles to be decommissioned. A few hours after it lands, ground teams will roll its sister ship Endeavour out to the pad ahead of its final launch to the International Space Station in April. Atlantis is scheduled to carry out the last ever shuttle mission in June. For ICRT News in Orlando, I'm Steve Mort.
Heavy rain sent floodwaters pouring into homes and businesses in several northeast Australian towns, still cleaning up from a massive cyclone that tore through the region last month. Senator John McCain is urging more U.S.-Australian military cooperation to deter Chinese aggression in the Asia-Pacific region, a region seen as key to the future prosperity of both nations. It's officially curtains for Windows on the World, the iconic restaurant that stood atop the World Trade Center. AP correspondent Warren Levin.
Restaurant consultant Michael Whiteman says he understands the economics don't work for new Windows on the World.
I think it's a shame, and not just because of Windows on the World, it's the World Trade Center.
Whiteman, who did the original Windows, says with the disappearance of the rainbow room and Cabin on the Green, New York is losing a certain kind of grand restaurant.
Things that are large enough to represent New York in people's minds.
The head of the Port Authority, which is building the World Trade Center replacement, says we do not build vanity projects at the top of tall buildings. Warren Levinson, New York.
The United States says it is troubled by moves to push Nobel laureate Mohammed Yunus out as chief of the bank he founded to help the Bangladeshi poor nearly 3 days ago. And decades ago, despite the U.S. reaction, the Bangladeshi judiciary has ruled that firing him is legal. In news from the online world, Chinese blogger and activist Michael Antai wants to know why he's less worthy of a Facebook account than company founder Mark Zuckerberg's dog. Antai, a popular online commentator whose real name is Dao Ting, says his Facebook account was suddenly canceled in January. Company officials told him by email that Facebook has a strict policy against pseudonyms and that he must use the name issued on his government ID. U.S. President Obama is taking swipes at GOP spending plans, even as he talks up his education plans in Boston. AP White House correspondent Mark Smith reports.
Visiting a standout inner-city school in Boston, the president agreed America faces tough fiscal choices, but insisted cuts that target education are wrong-headed.
A budget that sacrifices our commitment to education is a budget that sacrifices our country's future. It is a budget that sacrifices our children's future, and I will not let it happen. I will not let it happen.
Obama's remarks came as he and fellow Democrats battled GOP spending plans that would cut record deficits, but also sharply curtail programs like Head Start, Pell Grants for college, and aid to local schools. Mark Smith at the White House.
Britain's Prince William will visit New Zealand and Australia next week to tour and show the royal family's support for people in areas devastated by recent natural disasters. In economic news, a major insider trading trial opens in New York. Again, Warren Levinson.
Jury selection began Tuesday in the insider trading trial with former hedge fund billionaire Rajaratnam.
This is the first really major public trial of insider trading in maybe 20 years.
John Coffey teaches business law at Columbia University. He says the government should have a relatively easy time demonstrating Rajaratnam used inside information thanks to wiretaps.
I think the jury is going to be mainly impressed by hearing wiretaps. It'll be quite revealing.
The case could include some Wall Street titans. One of the trades at issue is Rajaratnam's suspiciously timely investment in Goldman Sachs. Warren Levinson, New York.
Toyota's president outlined a global strategy for the world's #1 automaker in the first such sweeping announcement since a massive recall. A cabinet official says China's government plans to spend nearly $200 billion this year building 10 million low-cost homes. Here now is Tim Berge with today's perspective.
Who says computer passwords can't be sexy? Normally, when creating a password, security experts will tell you to make it long and include as many odd characters and punctuation marks as possible. And the more random those characters can be, the better protected you'll be against hackers and interlopers. But for most users, creating a safe password is too much work or just plain boring. Many passwords remain in the realm of easy-to-guess numbers, such as birthdays and telephone numbers. Now, a firm from South Africa has released a free web tool designed to make strong password selection a little more tantalizing. Naked Password is a set of open-source JavaScript code and images that may be installed on any website. Once the JavaScript is added to a web page, a reclining model dubbed Sally will appear on screen and tastefully shutter clothing as your password becomes more secure. This turns password creation into a racy challenge. The goal is to use enough variety in the password, an exclamation mark here and a hash mark there, to undress Sally completely. Robust passwords are increasingly crucial in a world where ever more business is conducted online. And a fun game of striptease may be just what is needed to convince users to pick a strong password every time. For perspective, I'm Tim Berge.
Taiwan weather forecast for tonight, according to the Central Weather Bureau, rain up north, cloudy skies mid-island and down south. Highs tomorrow, north, center, and south respectively, 18, 22, and 25. At the moment, Taipei is cloudy and 17, Taichung cloudy with haze and 21, Kaohsiung cloudy with haze and 21 as well. That's ICRT News at 6 for Eric Gao, whose password is anti-disestablishmentarianism, and myself, Mike Woodward. Thank you for listening. Eric will be back with a traffic update right after this.
正西装副都心，钻石眼光，聚焦新复义。捷运5公站前，国际银旗绿建筑，大街廓规划，2000平花园大基地。新复发建设，新复义，89935566。
为了子女的学习、家庭的未来，
追求一个高品质的生活及教育工作环境。
2011第4届前进加拿大移民、留学、生活、工作博览会
是帮助您全方位的认识加拿大。
这是历届规模最大、涵盖面最广的加拿大展。
会中并邀请加拿大各领域最权威、最具代表性专家。
加拿大国家媒体移民政策分析评论家、权威移民大律师 Richard Curlin，
加拿大陆比移民留学顾问公司总裁、最大中文周报社长 Rick Chen，
温哥华、多伦多、蒙特楼教育生活专家
及近20余所加拿大著名学校代表莅临专题演讲，
全省巡回盛大展出。
3月12日本周六，台中长荣桂冠酒店、高雄福华饭店
；3月13日本周日，台北君悦饭店、新竹国宾饭店
；3月14日，台南大义励志酒店
；3月15日，花莲统帅饭店。
免费报名参加，因人数众多，请来电预约报名。
02-2518-0611，02-2518-0611。
加拿大陆比移民留学顾问公司。老公，牛奶过期，快乐过期，还有你也快过期啦！
什么过期啊？
瞧瞧你的中油会员点数吧。99年6月30日前，在中油加油站所累积的会员点数，要在100年3月31日前兑换完毕，日期点数可就自动归零哦。你看，你的脑袋跟点数都快过期啦。
那现在赶快到中油加油站兑换会员点数，还来得及。
赵小姐，家长。
哦，真的不懂，周杰伦的歌词可以倒背如流，为什么那几页课文几天也记不起来？
我是普林斯顿超强记忆的 Simon， 课文记不起来是因为用了不对的读书方法。快带孩子来参加我们的免费讲座，修正孩子的学习方法，保证让他念书会像记歌词一样轻松愉快。高雄、台中、台北请拨02-2768-5887，2768-5887。
Princeton, the memory experts.
It's time to check the highways and byways of Taiwan and get you where you're going. Listen up for the ICRT traffic report.
Also look at traffic in north of Taiwan. National Expressway number 1 is seeing delays in both directions at the Donghu interchange. National Expressway 3 has a breakdown in the inner lane ahead of the Suling toll station.